Richard Bennett, and I'm here today to talk to you about trees. Now, I've got 2 pretty good sized trees in the front yard, and I've got 10 fairly good sized trees in the backyard, and even more than that along the fence line here. So I'll show you what I do to keep my trees trimmed. First thing I use is this on anything that's close enough for me to get to. If I can reach it, it's fair game. The next thing I use is if there's a low-lying branch starting to get in my way, I use this thing on it, and this works pretty good. It's I think we probably paid about $15 for this, maybe some 20-30 years back. And for the higher tree branches, I use this thing, and this is pretty effective, except for it does take up a lot of energy. Okay, but I'm able to cut the trees back out of the way and keep everybody happy. I try to keep the trees off the fence line and away from the power lines as best I can. So anyway, about a month ago I got a letter from the county, and the county had a little check mark next to something. It says, please keep your tree branches 15 feet in the air when they hang over the street. And I said, uh-oh, they're down to around maybe 10 feet above the street. So this was a pretty big project. It's more than that pole could handle, and I'm in my 60s now, and as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not what I was when I was 25 years old. So I went down to Home Depot and looked around for something that was light enough for me to handle, and I ran across this thing. This is something you plug into the wall with a power cord, and it does not have a gas motor on it. It has an electric motor on it, and this is a Ryobi chainsaw. So I have to use a chainsaw to get to branches that are at least 10 to 15 feet off the ground, and so I'm the guy who does all the tree trimming, and I keep things neat and tidy around here. So every now and then, my chainsaw manages to get itself gummed up. I can work for it okay for about 10 minutes, and after that it starts getting kind of rough. And then after that, usually what happens is this chain will get knocked off, and I'll have to come back in the barn and put the chain back on and clean it out a little bit. And I go out and I'll take this and go back out, plug it back in, and I'm good for about another 15 minutes of work. That's okay, because after about 15 minutes of cutting down limbs, I'm wore out anyway, and I've got to drag all those limbs to the curb. So I figure I can do a couple of trees in an hour or so, and go for about 3 or 4 days, and I'll have my work done for the year. got a tree trimmed far away from the street, and I got a few branches for the city to pick up tomorrow morning. So they make me work, I'll make them work. Fair is fair. Now let me explain some costs for you. Every now and then I get a group of people who show up on my front door and they leave the little cards, the business cards, and they knock and want me to come to the door. They say, we'll clean up your trees for you. And I go, no thanks, I take care of that. We'll thin out your trees for you. I go, no thanks, I'll take care of that. They charge, every year they do this. They charge from like $80 from a small tree to as much as $300 to a large tree. Now I've got 2 good sized trees out in the front yard, and I've got 10 probably medium sized trees out in the backyard, and a bunch of trees along the fence line as well. So I've got 2 good sized trees, large trees in the backyard, 8 pretty good sized trees, and a bunch of trees lining the fence line over here. So I'll do the facts and figures and show you how much you can save if you do everything yourself, DIY. So anyhow, you can read this and figure out for yourself what you want to do.